See that right there?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
That's the moon.
Nope.
Oh, you're
It's Uranus. So my beautiful wife and I are getting ready to go on another adventure. We are going to see a huge hole in the ground. So get excited because we're going to film it. All right. And it's going to take us about 2.5, 3 hours to get there. And about 2.5 to 3 hours to get back home. So around 6 hours of travel time to see this huge hole in the ground. Are we crazy? Yes. But that's why you love us. Get excited. And here it is, the main event that we've all been waiting for. The big hole in the ground. Whew.
Gotta catch my breath.
Yeah, we're a little bit out of breath because we did some climbing, but I'm looking at this big hole and I'm thinking, those people in Winslow are so lucky. I mean, if it's just a few miles more, and it could have just wiped out Winslow. Scary. Okay, now that you've seen the big hole in the ground, and if you're interested in learning more, we're gonna include the tour.
The guided
tour.
tour.
The guided tour and shots of the museum. Otherwise, you can stop the video now, but thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Love you all. If you like our content, please like, share, and subscribe. It'll really help us out. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mile out, quarter mile back. You guys have may seen them standing out there on the ridge before coming up. Again, that's as far as we
They
go.
want to see the...
Quarter mile out, quarter mile back. Little strenuous hike, a little slight decline and incline. Again, nothing too bad. But we do want you guys to be precaution about being in a high elevation. We are at 5640. It is a rare occasion sometimes, but it does happen, of elevation sickness. Just a heads up, okay guys? Before we go out though, I do want to give you guys a friendly reminder that this is a committed tour. When I do say committed tour, once we leave the building here, I lock those doors right after we leave. Your commitment comes when we are on trail. Again, going out this side of the trail door, we do not let you go out without a tour guide. That also gives you the option of having to come back with one as well. If you guys take the option to come back without your tour guide, you forfeit everybody's tour, where I have to bring everybody back inside. Again, for safety and liability reasons, we do not want you to venture outside on your own on this side. Going out there and coming back with a tour guide, you guys do need that.
Okay.
Is that understandable?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Again, what you will be feeling out there, that cold breeze, you guys did feel on the outside of your car. But we are 150 feet above the desert floor, so you guys will feel that slight temperature drop and a little bit of a cold breeze. Hopefully the sun being out this long will help us out along the way. But we do come across wildlife. If that does happen, again, I don't just wear a blue shirt at work, I do wear one at home. Has a big S on there. Just kidding, guys. But if that does come down, you guys will witness my lightning fast speed. Faster than a speeding bullet, because I'll be back here faster than you can believe. But you guys notice me not flying, walking very slow and sluggish. This meteorite contains kryptonite. I'm just kidding. But again, if anybody does go down, I will carry you on my shoulder. I'm just kidding. And again, if anybody does go down, I will have my backup here, drag you back in. I'm just kidding. I'll pick you up and we'll carry you back. But again, if anything does happen to me, I do have the only keys to let you back in. He doesn't have any, don't ask him. I'm just kidding. Again, I do have the only key to get back in. If anybody wants to come back in, please do drag me with you if I get hurt. Just kidding. Before we head out though, I do want to remind you guys, did you guys introduce yourself to the rock star today? Anybody? Well, I'm going to introduce you to the rock stars. The Holland Singer Meteorite right here is the real deal piece. It's not a fake, not a copy, nor a replica. This is the real deal, found 2 miles west of here. Canyon Diablo, the closest exit to that area today would be known as Two Guns. Anybody pass it today? You guys did probably drive over to the Canyon Diablo as well. This was only believed to be such a tiny piece. Dusted off, seeing something sparkle and shine, he would be able to dust it off, pick it up, and throw it in a saddlebag. I would love to see the saddlebag he used. This is a very dense piece of iron, mainly known as that iron core, 92% iron, 7% nickel. The rest remaining 1% consists of 82 different elements known here on Earth, all jumbled and mixed up inside of that. It took an additional 5 men, a buggy, and a mule to bring this back 2 miles. Bad day for the mule. Because this piece weighs 1,406 pounds alone. When they brought it back, this wasn't the first location. It's going to be the opposite corner, the northwestern corner where the first homestead was established in 1908 as well. You guys have may seen the only thing of that structure coming up the road here, a red kind of a boulder statue there. That's actually the chimney left of the house there. That being the first attraction site area, being the first homestead, it started off as a business in 1954. But this place occurring 61,000 years ago. This event that took place was similar to what we would know today as a nuclear blast going on. Having a kill zone. The kill zone reached at least 8 to 7 miles. That's past I-40 out there today. Burning and disintegrating, nothing surviving within the path. Except for the way you guys got here. I-40 and the road. Just kidding. Intersecting fault lines go right through our crater, coincidentally already being there. Perfect X marks the spot. Good thing. 300,000 tons, 26,000 miles an hour, 150 feet in length and diameter, or 45 meters. Where did it all go? Well, on impact, that 20 megaton energy blast that accumulated here disintegrated 80% of the meteorite on impact, blowing up, throwing out the remaining debris 30 or even plus miles out in each direction. Wind, debris, a mushroom cloud, of course, was formed here. But hitting on impact, our depth today is at 550 feet or less. They believe on impact estimation depth 1,400 feet. Filling with debris after impact, 7 to 750 feet. 4,000 feet in diameter, that's 2.5 miles all the way around the top. But that's in half right here at the bottom of the crater, 2,000 feet diameter. A mile across from west to east, and nearly over that mile from north to south. Again, does anybody have any questions about our rock star here? You guys ready to go see our celebrity? Yeah. Alrighty. Before we do head out, guys, do head to the end of the building, the viewing platform, just like we have here, odd shape. Spread amongst yourself along the blacktop. Get comfortable. If you guys are wondering where I'm at for like 20 minutes, I'm just in here enjoying the heat. Welcome to Meteor Crater. As I was telling you guys, a mile across, nearly over that. 550 feet in depth. You guys do see down there, that's a half a mile in distance for you guys. You guys do see all the objects right down there at a very near image. The black object you see down there to the left of the mine shaft, that is not a smoke griller. That is a 10 by 15 foot steam boiler right down there. Again, a generator of its time, like the size of a steam engine. Powering a steel winch right behind it, bringing up man material and debris from the first mine shaft. You're also going to notice the fencing surrounding it. That's an 8-foot fence. Doesn't look like it from here. Looks like a 2-foot, 4-foot fence just go right over. But not only is that the largest objects down there, but did you guys notice our 6-foot astronaut? Looks like a Tic Tac from this distance. He's on the left-hand side of that matchbox you see. Just kidding, not a matchbox. 3 by 5 foot American flag.
Yes.
To the left of that, you can barely see that glimpse of the astronaut there. Again, everything in very visual scale. The astronaut's 6 foot, just like we would see in front of us. Again, barely visible right down there. This place being discovered, of course, in the 1600s by indigenous tribes wasn't really special for them in a way, but only leaving remnants of petroglyphs and artifacts here. That's about it. Nothing saying that they established a community here, but being documented for the first time in history on paper was known as Franklin's Hole. But the guy that discovered the area was considered delusional. A U.S. Army scout came across this area, gave reports. They didn't believe him. He proved these officers wrong, but they mocked him when they gave him the credit. Franklin's Hole is what they did to him. But Franklin's Hole is well known, not just as it is today, an impact zone, but back then, everybody knew about this area. But it wasn't the crater that brought them here. Meteorite was being found in the early 1900s. But the science community, they only had one answer for that back then. It was coincidentally already here. That answer was given for only one reason. In 1891, such type of events, astronomical ones, in that early time weren't believed in. This didn't exist. They only believed in holes like this forming from our surface, volcanically. They call this a volcanic steam vent since 1891, all the way until 1968, 8 decades. But throughout this period of time, this place had its uprising, but starting off as a mining area. In 1901, our founder, Daniel Monroe Barringer, 4 mining claims claiming the area. 27 years, 28 different holes. In 1929, go big, go home. Philadelphia being that location, this place was declared the worst and greatest obsession in his life. In 1938, this place was open to this place was open to the public. But along the way, changed its form to a business. In 1954, becoming known as Barringer Crater. In 1954, though, it was still known as that volcanic steam vent. The timeline I'm giving you guys is going to be real quick, but I'll explain each part of that for you guys. Within 1954, a decade later, this place started changing all the naysayers into believers. Astronomical events were starting to be existent and well believed in. That was because of the help of geologists in 1960 coming in here, Dr. Eugene Schumacher. This is the same Schumacher NASA dedicated a Levy Comet after, a geologist. But the story starting from 1901, our founder, Daniel Monroe Barringer, first mine shaft right down in the center, 240 feet, breaking the water table, flooding the area, discontinued his hunt, just on the surface. Right down there, discontinuing everything. There's 2 mine shafts located right next to each other. You do see the open one, and then you do see the 14 by 14 foot steel grate. That's covering another mine shaft there. Drill sites were dug out in this area as well. You'll notice faded circular spots right here in our open area right in front of the mine shaft. Mr. Barringer discontinued his search, but continued for that 27 years inside and out of the crater. 1929, go big, was straight back on the south rim. In the shadow there, you do see a red streak from top to bottom in the center. The very top of that center, a V-cut. The drill site, less than 1,300 feet before hitting mineral, breaking bits, they had to rebuild the repair shaft. They wanted to know what they were hitting as well. This repair shaft is a 300-foot mine shaft, horizontally dug in. That's that gray mound you see on the very bottom right of the red streak there. Looking and repairing equipment, there was nothing to be found for 27 years. Only what was found on the outside. When Mr. Behringer abandoned ship in 1929, he only left with one thing: empty pockets. I'm just kidding, guys. He left with a deed. The land was his ownership. 262 acres today and 2 miles surrounding it is all Behringer property still. Privately owned area. It is in the 5th generation of the family. Drew Behringer, the 5th generation grandson. This place was abandoned for a second time though. That business occurrence, 1938. The Behringer family was reached out to 4 years later, about 1942. Barty Bar Ranch was very much involved in this area. Who are they? You guys seen their signs coming in, right? Watch out for animals, cattle crossing, and then their Barty Bar Ranch sign. Barty Bar Ranch owns all the land surrounding the crater. That 2 mile radius, outside of that, 326,000 acres. Accumulated in 1863. They were the 2nd largest cattle company in the territory days, before Arizona became a state in 1912. They seized the opportunity to charge people who crossed their land when they opened this place to the public. Escorting their help, of course, hiring hands to do so. That reaching out to the Behringers was acquiring land that wasn't theirs, reoccupying, maintaining, the homestead becoming the first attraction site after agreeing. The 3 families came together, again, Behringer Crater. But the business process took from the 40s. We still use the one thing today that Barty Bar Ranch allowed: an access way, the road, paved and coming up to a newer area today. You guys did see it cut off down there, yeah? The dirt road? Continue another 20 more miles, you come to the original crater site. It gets rough terrain as soon as you pass these I'm just kidding, guys, you're at the real site. Right down at the bottom there, the bend snakes up to the northwestern bend. That's where, if I catch everybody, see if they're paying attention to me. That corner bend going up to the first homestead. 25 cents admission price back there in the mid-40s. Sorry, it's gone up since then. 50-50 profit split. This was known as Behringer Crater in 1954. 1954, 7 decades have gone by. This is still known as a volcanic site though. A volcanic crater branching off a volcanic area, pocket pressure built up, boom, giant hole in the ground. That was their theory. Again, things falling from the sky, they never witnessed this. 61,000 years ago, we didn't have paper, pens, an iPhone. Nobody to even record this. That was one reason, other than the highest point of all is Arizona, that sticks out today. There's a sleeping dormant volcano site, Humphreys Peak. The existence of a volcanic crater does exist here in the northern parts. Sunset Crater is what it's called today, northeast of Flagstaff. That's why this area was well known to be a volcanic site. But Dr. Eugene Shoemaker's help, I'll explain that when we get to our last stop before coming back. Are there any questions before going on? Anything interesting you guys spotted? Yes, sir.
Question. So it was a mine site. Where's all the equipment for the mine? When did all the equipment for the mining get taken out?
So this place accumulates 160-mile-an-hour winds. Blew out of here. I'm just kidding. But over the time period, we being an attraction site, they wanted you to see this whole surface area of the crater. That used to be a mine camp down there, buildings, structures, equipment.
Okay.
But all moved out for you guys to see the whole surface area. Not only down there being a mine camp, but on the south side of the crater. We like to call it the dark side. Yes, Lord Vader does live over there. But nobody's allowed to go over there. Death Star plans. Just kidding. But on the south side of the crater, on the very other side, abandoned mine camps, building structures, and equipment broken from when they used to use it. Mule trails were also a way to get down into the crater. Faded switchback trails are located on the southeastern corner, as well as right next to the last mine shaft. next to the mine shaft, you do see a faded switchback trail right between the two gray mounds, going up above the ridge back to the southwestern saddle. The other switchback trail located on the southwest eastern side, you see in the shade area, switchback trail going up, top this ridge, and back across this way. Today we have an accessible way not for the public, the Behringer Trail. It was used in a movie at once. You guys remember the crater being viewed in a Marvel film where Thor threw his hammer, Odin threw his hammer? This wasn't the film though. I'm just kidding. The film used was 1987 Starman, Jeff Bridges. The trail was used, the northwestern corner down here. You will see the only indent of a 45-degree angle trail there, inside of that wall. Going right up to the corner, switchback, same degree of hill going right back up to that corner base, the homestead area. Again, that's the only accessible trail that we use to go in and out of the crater. Not available for the public since 1987. Erosion damage, foot traffic, 4,000 to 5,000 years, done in 10 to 15. Too high, they stopped going in and outside of the crater. Only thing I heard was awesome about that was coming out of the crater, they fed you. That was only to give you the energy to get out of here though. Anybody have any second options of wanting to go back inside?
So do we know where exactly they found the rocket star?
So nothing of the meteorite was found inside of the crater.
Oh, okay.
Everything from the Hollensinger meteorite was found 2 miles west of here. The Hollensinger meteorite is one of 14 pieces, the largest ever recovered though.
Okay.
Next pieces after that would be found 7 miles south of here. Those are on display in such areas as Chicago and New York City. They go under an alias though. We do know it as the Hollensinger meteorite now. Its alias it goes by, location it was found. The Canyon Diablo meteor fragment is also what it goes by. If you guys come across that name, that's a piece from impact site. Again, other pieces that are around the world, they've either been bought or donated.
Right.
Again, the Hollensinger meteorite, largest ever of all. And here's myself, so I haven't even been to the Grand Canyon.
What? Are you serious? Oh my god, you better go.
One of these days.
We've done that.
There's a trail over
So
there.
the homestead, guys, is located on the opposite side of these two hills right here. Again, we don't go that far. That's closed off to the rest of the public again. Erosion damage. We did have a rock and roll show. Not literally, of course, but we did assist a rock rolling into the crater. You know, it was at the edge of where we walk on a path to where it was just like, you could take that picture of like I'm holding this thing up. You know, pretend you're Atlas, but Atlas doesn't just hold a piece, holds the whole world. But that's what that piece would have done. But if any more erosion damage would have happened there, it goes right over the trail. We would have been squished like bugs. But that's how big that rock was. Erosion damage, cutting off part of the trail. We want to have it all fixed up as well as redoing all this pavement for you the rest of the way. So that's looking up to next year and going as far as the homestead again. That takes about an hour, 15 hour and a half. This one takes you about an hour. Again, this is as far as we go. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But other than the boulder attractions and me, because everybody's always looking at me, you guys do see House Rock right there on the east rim. That's actually the size of a 2-story duplex.
That's great.
Why it's called House Rock. But that's not the only one. My house is located right down at the bottom of the crater. I'm just kidding. But there is a boulder down here that looks like a cottage or a house right down here. This area becoming what it is today, the first proven meteor impact zone by 1963, was all the help of Dr. Eugene Schumacher, the same Schumacher NASA dedicated the Levy Comet after, a geologist. Coming from Nevada, bomb crater research he brought with him. Every which way similar, he said, but radioactive and man-made. None of that found. So that took us, man-made creation, off the table. Knew everything about a volcanic site. Threw that off the table. Everything on the ground here, off the table. So where did they go from there? Up. This impact happened from some way. Falling from the sky, something they started to believe in. Finding two minerals unknown to man were more evidence. Coincided stitchibite are crystallization forms found here, made of intense heat and pressure event. That explosion that occurred here could coincidentally make these as well. Man-made, a nuclear blast. Coincided stitchibite crystallization forms found in shot quartz today are found here in a sandstone version. Dense, heavy, hard, not really worth anything. But what the awesome thing about it is the crystallization forms that shine off of it. That form being this giant rock right here. Not this one, but the one on top. Coincided stitchibite have a form of what's similar to a sugar cube. Don't lick it, guys, it don't taste the same. Trust me. But again, the crystallization forms you see on there can be found on this little one, this big one right here. Intense heat and pressure. You guys take the sunlight away, and it looks like an ordinary piece of sandstone. But you put it back in the sunlight, sparkles like Edward's skin from Twilight. But it's a little bit older than him. Being this found here, another theory was thrown out in the air. Reverse stratigraphy. The desert floor flipping up and turning right on top of itself. There's three big boulders here of the colors I'm about to hold up. The Montcopy red sandstone, the Kaibab, and the Coconino white. These three, like so, are our layout originally outside of the crater. But the crater formed 6 of these in reverse of each other. 3 layers forming 6. Again, excavating 175 million tons. Think of a door hinge in a way, flipping over. It flipping over and landing on itself.
Wow.
6 layers are just in reverse of each other. Starting from the Montcopy red, where do you guys see that in our rim? Right here.
Up on top.
Yeah. That's 2 layers for you guys. Flipped on top of each other. Each side having Kaibab, yellow to brownish, and white coconino sandstone.
Right.
Yep. Visually, what does this look like? I just showed you guys. I'm just kidding. Looking back towards the visitor center. Go ahead, you guys all look back that way. Not run away. Just kidding. But the rim consists of all the coconino white sandstone, everything in reverse, the bottom. Then you notice the yellow to brownish colored rock. That is the Kaibab. The 2 layers of the Montcopy red. And then you notice where the observation deck is. All the red above that area. And then right beneath the decking, yellow Kaibab. The original set. And then streaking back in white coconino sandstone. At the same time this happening, the desert floor did one thing. Raise. The brown line you see on the inside of the crater is the desert floor going up, and the flip occurrence happening right on top of that.
Oh, you can see right here.
But the one part that didn't perfect in flipping on itself is the highest point of our rim, desert floor going up. 2 out of 1. 2 out of 3. Is that south rim back there. The highest point right there. Spoiler alert for some of you guys. Entry point, some would say. But what you're looking at is a small glimpse of stratigraphy you would find in the Grand Canyon. That's the second layer for you guys. The most interesting fact about that is that's not old for us. Yes, age, millions of years. But history-wise, human age, we've only known this crater for about 250 years. young. The event 60,000 years ago, a long time ago, but according to recent current events, it's still a youthful experiencing event. It's not that long ago. And what took 10 seconds to see parts of the Grand Canyon, it took millions of years of water erosion to see there. Pretty awesome. So what you're seeing is just a small baby portion of a youthful Grand Canyon layer. Again, only 250 years known to us. 61,000 years, million years of aging. Took a matter of seconds to see here today. 180 million tons of desert floor excavated and flipped just to form our rim. Reverse stratigraphy was one of the things that skyrocketed this area, the forming of our land here. The crater. Dr. Shoemaker's help, research, and findings, 1963, first proven impact zone on Earth. This place became an identifier for every crater around the world. It even helped assist identifying what killed off the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. Of course, we all know it was as a meteorite, but the first theory was the same one as this place. Of course, it was true, a volcanic theory, but it was assisted by the impact 61 million years ago of a meteor. When they found it there, stumbled upon oil rigging, fishing, all that found in the Gulf of Mexico, missing with their equipment. Not knowing what it was, but this place helped identify it to be an impact zone. You guys remember the diameter in this? 4,000 feet. 2.5 miles almost. That doesn't compare to the Chicxulub crater, the one that killed off the dinosaurs. 190 miles in diameter. Way bigger than this. 550 feet or less in depth today doesn't compare to 6 miles, not 6, 12 miles in the ocean floor, almost. Again, the Chicxulub crater is in the ocean. The Holland-Singer meteorite is just like this one, fully compared in size. Just a chunk. Because 150 feet in length and diameter, that's half the size of the empty parking lot in diameter. Lengthwise, a little overscaling our museum building where we ended up leaving from, end to end there, that building only. That size, 300,000 tons, compared to 6 miles in length. That's how devastating that was. You guys watched the film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how it said the secrets of the universe were unlocked? I don't know that answer either. I'm just kidding. But that's just explaining that we never knew about anything outside of this world. If it wasn't for this impact, we wouldn't know about Venus. Looking out inside of this world, finding different minerals. Nothing like that. But this impact is what that caused of unlocking the universe. Exploring more out there. Again, because this wasn't believed in. We couldn't go out there. But this place made it happen as well. Getting involved with NASA from 1963 to 1972, astronauts were trained here for the Apollo missions. Getting so close, they could not get to the moon to train, of course. The environment here is the closest thing they could get. Similar in every which way of a crater they would find on the moon, training was done here. Equipment, tools formed, as well as an incident that occurred of ripping the spacesuit, said would have killed an astronaut on mission. Slipping on trail, tearing the sleeve. 1-ply, 2-ply non-rip resistant material became the new suit back then. But testing stuff from the moon rover here was more than all that. NASA trained their astronauts here for one thing. Everything Dr. Schumacher was, they weren't. A geologist. None of them knew anything about identifying rocks or what they were looking for. They knew every simple one of these as a rock, but by color. Red, yellow, brown, white. Simple simplicity. We didn't want them to bring back original rocks again we already knew about. So that's where they took the time to learn everything they knew about this place to apply it up there. Bring back something we don't have. Geology was one of the biggest things learned here throughout the training. In 1968, this place was deemed federally protected. It is not a national park. It is privately owned since 1954 by the same three families. The Chilisons, the Tremaines, and Behringers don't accept any federal or state funding for this area. That's why they're able to refuse the park pass. But in 1968, this place was deemed federally protected and a natural landmark. Again, the same three families established all around here. The Behringers still own the crater, as I was saying, 5th generation of the family. Barty Bar Ranch, from the sign you guys passed, 5 miles east, is their established settlement. From our top view, where you see everybody up there on Moon Mountain, you're able to see the ranch settlement 3 miles east of here. Again, they accumulated 327 acres to become the 2nd largest cattle company in the territory days. They still are a thriving cattle company today. And they still own pretty much everything around the crater. Thank you guys for all coming out here today. I'm glad to see nobody's ears are bleeding or have fallen off.
Some space rock. Apollo 7-17 moon rock lucite.
It contains genuine materials flown aboard the Apollo command modules, as well as a genuine lunar meteorite.
And they've got some items that are for sale in the gift shop. Ah, look at the finely decorated elevators. Got some asteroids there. And this looks like it's the largest discovered fragment of the 150-foot meteor that created Meteor crater.
This came from space.
What's that, baby?
This came from space.
Nice.
And I can touch it. Yes.
She's touching me.
Yes. This came from space. Oh my goodness. Oh my. This is very heavy.
Can we put that in the back of the Mustang? Oh, sorry.
That's yours.
Oh, look at this.
Or, you know, wrap around.
Look, there's a rock. The little rock is crashed down. Yeah.
For several years, he gathered other evidence, such as fine silicon at the site, which could
Mom,
only
how
be
do we
proven
look
by
the
the
other
We're gonna go look at more of the stuff. We gotta go the other way though.
There were also
the other way?
the complete lack of volcanic rock or any sign of volcanic activity at the crater. Doubters still remained, however, until Dr. Eugene Shoemaker began his groundbreaking work at Meteor Crater. In 1960, Shoemaker and two colleagues discovered two new minerals in the rocks beneath the crater. The minerals cursite and stishovite are new, denser forms of quartz created by the extreme pressures and temperatures of a meteor impact. Today, scientists look for these two high-pressure minerals to locate the scars of ancient impact craters. In 1963, Dr. Shoemaker began studying craters formed by underground nuclear test explosions.
My hunch was that I would go have a look at Meteor Crater and see what the structure was because it had never been thoroughly mapped and described. So I didn't know what the structure was until I went. But having mapped this first, I went to Meteor moving at 11 miles per second. A meteor raced through the solar system towards Earth.
Reproduced here on a giant
Hurricane force winds through 175 million tons The shock of impact melted most of the meteor.
His work also jump-started
With a large plume of debris
and inspired a closer look at
just
the role of collision and impact
Meteor Crater
and throughout the solar system.
That's so big. All of South America. Come see this. You need to see what what I made does. It destroys all of South America. South America.
Crazy. That one like that actually did hit South America. That's what I'm saying. Long time ago.
No, I just needed to one broke that big hole, and then this one destroyed the whole Earth.
Total destruction of Earth.
First, it just destroys South America, then it Let's see if I can.
Moving at 11 miles per second, a meteor raced through the solar system towards Earth. Immense shockwaves were created as it approached from the east. Hurricane force winds threw 175 million tons of debris in all directions. The shock of impact melted most of the meteor and spread it with the large plume of debris. It took just 10 seconds and Meteor Crater was formed.
What? It actually did happen. Wait, during the hole that big that happened? Yeah, it happened a long time ago. Run simulations. Let's see. This will destroy more than South America. You didn't change it enough. Let's see. Press down whenever you want to go.
Okay.
Go. Total destruction. That's like an asteroid
Moving
almost
at
size.
11 miles per second. A meteor breaks through
Like
the solar
it's very
system towards Earth. Immense shockwaves were created as it approached from the east.
velocity.
Hurricane force winds through 107
Right, so you played. Somebody's playing
in
for the
all
turn.
directions.
No,
The shock of impact melted most of the meteor
that would stop
and
the
spread
atmosphere.
with the large plume of debris. It took just 10 seconds, and Meteor crater was formed.
I
know.
Okay. And there's a whole rest of the museum. There's other stuff to do, Eli.
Let's go. Oh, just totally destruction of Earth. This is going too fast. Lost me nice. Minus 10 degrees. This asteroid is just too big. You didn't take it enough. Try making it smaller.
Because the red is actually tucked in. You actually don't see it. You see mainly the Kaibab. Kaibab is the white. So yeah, the gold layer is flappage, and then there's red behind it.
I got her, Dad.
Well, the gold, like, this should be white.
Well, look at we can go from here.
On February 15th, 2013, a meteor fell over Chelyabinsk, Russia.
I mean, you're hit in Russia.
That's a car.
Oh, look, there it is.
See it? Are we driving? Are we driving? Are we driving? Are we driving?
Nearly 3 minutes after the flash of light appeared in the sky,
This actually happened. It said it was up the stairs.
Babe,
yeah,
come here.
as the meteor passed through the atmosphere, it exploded, creating a flash of light brighter than the sun and a shockwave. It took nearly 3 minutes after the flash for the shockwave to reach us.
Alright,
The
hold on a
shockwave
second
damaged
because it
buildings and
disappeared.
homes and resulted in more than 1,400 injuries.
Touch the lower screen
If
to begin.
humanity does
You
not
want me
want
to
to
touch
go
it?
the way of the dinosaurs, we need to study an event like this in detail.
See that right there?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
That's the moon.
Nope.
Oh, you're
It's Uranus.
Oh, this is the. What is this? This is the solar system,
So yeah,
right?
the solar system. And it shows the path of the comet Shoemaker 11 9.
See? before
Hold on, I wanna.
people thought, you know, we were the center of the universe.
Yeah.
They were so Earth-centric until they discovered that we're just one of the planets that revolve around the sun.
Yeah. And this is that Russian.
That demoted Earth to just a mere planet.
This
One
is
of the
that
planets.
meteor impact in Russia.
On February 15th, 2013, a meteor fell over Chelyabinsk, Russia. Nearly 3 minutes after the flash of light appeared in the sky,
Shocking.
a shockwave. As the meteor passed through the atmosphere, it exploded, creating a flash of light brighter than the sun, and a shockwave. It took nearly 3 minutes after the flash for the shockwave to be felt. The shockwave damaged buildings and windows and resulted in more than 1,400 injuries. Quote, "If humanity does not want to go the way of the dinosaurs, we need to study an event like this in detail," end quote. King Zhu, professor in the Department of Earth and Planetary Science.
That's okay. We got Bruce Willis.
What movie was that?
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Io ho capito che scendevano da queste due navi.
Oh, look, baby. So they were training down in the crater.
Oh, I thought it was here. What? These craters, this was 550. Wow.
That's interesting, baby.
The mystique of Mars.
According to this,
Mars.
Mars is half the size of Earth.
There was a time they said that Mars and Earth had the same
Atmosphere.
same qualities. What they said, description, you know. But Mars is like the rogue planet that
That's
it
where the-
changed.
It's where the Martians live, baby.
They're like the rogue twin sister of Earth.
Here we get a close-up view of the
Crater
from the
closest, huh?
bottom. Man, my legs are tired from traveling all the way down to the bottom of the crater. Look, even real rocks right there. Ignore the carpet. Don't look at the carpet,
Ignore
folks.
the carpet. This is the famous Dr. Shoemaker.
We're gonna go to that part of the museum over there.
Okay.
Okay. I'll be there in a minute.
I guess that's the close-up view of the moon.
So did Dr. Shoemaker make it to the moon?
I don't know, baby.
That's what was his goal?
Yes. I think that's a third grade teacher.
That's wild.
Huh. His remains have been sent to the moon.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, he did not make it to the moon, but his ashes, his remains were sent to the moon. Wow. Oh, it says here.
What time?
You can make your own meteor. I think you can use some fun.
Nearly 3 minutes after the flash, the shaft was demonstrated in the place and resulted in meaningful supernovae. If humanity does not move over the way of the dinosaurs, we need to study the invention of the
You're changing what? I'm sorry, Dad. Right,
Oops, sorry. I want to ask Tori.
And then now you're what? Climate incident? Look at the hit Earth. Let's look at the moon. Venus. So Venus, right? Then it tells you what the
I'll do the moon.
okay.
Okay,
How dense it is.
so. I would be really good. Total distraction?
So what did you change? Yeah, how fast it's going, how big it is. So if you make it smaller. That's right. No, no, see what it does.
Do that. That big. But I kind of want to do it.
Try it, see if you change this from an asteroid to something else, if it'll let it be bigger.
We'll do iron and nickel.
And then see how, if it'll let it change, how fast and how big it is.
50. It won't.
It did go bigger than number, this before was 45, right? Or was it the velocity?
Only was 30.
You changed it to Venus.
Well, the moon.
Again.
How about just Venus?
Okay.
Okay. 50.
So is this just for decor or is there history to this?
You want to stay in the middle?
Oh, tooth remaining. Mammoth,
so
Americanum, or American Mastodon.
those explain what those are. That there is a tooth, or a reproduction of a tooth anyway.
Okay, there we go.
All the dinosaur wants for Christmas is his two front teeth. Look at that, baby. Wow.
I think the coffee's making me starting to make me sick.
Oh, that's no problem, baby.
Why no at all?
And the shock wave. It took nearly 3 minutes after the flash for the shock wave. The shock wave damaged buildings and windows and resulted in more than 1,400 injuries. If humanity does not control the wave,
Okay, my love. I think we are done in the museum.
I know, we're gonna go get the food right now.
There's a beehive around here somewhere.